Video gaming is a young sector in Kenya, though various startup companies have appeared in the country since 2007. The existing businesses are dealing with funding issues and few successes have been made. However, shared spaces, support programs and government grants introduced over the past few years have allowed the industry to grow large in a short period of time. The introduction of broadband internet in 2009 spawned a generation of young ICT-savvy people in the country, and the Kenyan game industry is, as of 2015, among the largest in Africa. History. The earliest known game development in Kenya was around 2007, when independent game designer Wesley Karinya worked alone on Adventures of Nyangi, a crude action-adventure video game inspired by Tomb Raider. Despite the game's low quality, it gained a large amount of press coverage for being among the first video games created on the African continent. Karinya later joined with Ghanaian game developer Tawi to form the company Leti Games, which was rebranded as Leti Arts in 2013. In November 2007, Nextgen was formed, a company by video game enthusiasts Nathan Masuko and Ayub Makame. Inspired in the mid-90s by the Nintendo Entertainment System and works of Hideo Kojima, Masuko built a gaming center in 2009 from where the company hosts gaming tournaments. Nextgen has been taking efforts to get esports off the ground in Kenya, with limited success. In 2010, Planet Rackers formed. The company released Ma 3 Racer on the Nokia Ovia store, expecting around 10,000 downloads over a year. But the game became popular by its primarily African audience, was downloaded over 900,000 times within the time span. Karinya and Masuko have worked together with artist Chief Nyamwe to develop Haki, Shield and Amp, Defend, an Android game reaching 250,000 downloads and winning a World Youth Summit Award, which Masuko collected in Montreal in 2012. Pamoji Matani, developed by Warner Brothers, won the Global Business Coalition's Business Excellence Award in 2011 and globally recorded over 1 million sales after big names in the Kenyan music industry, such as Jua Kali and Stephenwanjau, were involved in its production. Though in 2007, there existed only a handful of retail stores predominantly selling video games, this number has gone up in recent years. In 2009, Kenya laid the first of its underseas fiber-optic internet cables, bringing broadband internet within reach for the population. The government has since invested more money in the development of digital infrastructure, making online gaming viable. In 2010, eHub was created, a physical area for Kenyan ICT entrepreneurs to come together. Various other businesses followed suit, supporting startup companies through a mix of entrepreneurship training, research funding, working spaces and mentoring. Quote, according to Masuko, these developments are shifting Kenya at a very unprecedented pace. The first 3D video game developed in Africa was released by Black Division Games in June 2015. The game, titled Nairobi X, achieved a large amount of international coverage due to its high graphical quality and because it was released for PC as well as Android devices. Current situation. The Kenyan government plans to harness the technological progress of the country as part of its Vision 2030 plan, transforming the country into a globally competitive and prosperous nation. Quote, this plan also involves the construction of a Silicon Savannah, which is described as Africa's answer to Silicon Valley. Despite these plans, unemployment is common in Kenya, and a failed ICT project that could leave a young person without a job to fall back on. The rise of game development is creating jobs in the region. Foreign AAA video games sell for around $100 in Kenya, making it impossible for the general public to purchase more than a handful of video games. Though a rise in spending power has been noticed, with some young people buying high-end PCs valued $17.00 and upward. An issue faced by ICT entrepreneurs is that gaming is not taken seriously by the general public, making it difficult to find financial support. According to Masuko, African game development is mainly focused on mobile gaming, as this medium has the deepest penetration and the widest market. It is also considered an easier entry point as far as financing is concerned. However, Masuko explains, "We don't have proper retail stores like App Store. If you want something you just go to this one-stop shop." Developers at University of Games state that console gaming is picking up in the country, though it is not as prevalent as the mobile market. Many cybercafes in Nairobi have a specific zone for people to play video games. These zones have proven to be more lucrative than charging for web browsing. Kenya's video game industry was estimated to be worth $44 million at the end of 2013. Local philosophies. According to Brian Kinua from four-man team University of Games, games offer an environment in which players can tackle social problem by themselves, without a mob to back you up, peers to cheer you on. Kinua believes that the idea of solving societal issues with gaming should be taken more serious. University of Games released Election Thief in 2013, which promotes peace through a fictional story of attempted electoral fraud. Inspired by the 2007 Kenyan election, Haki, Shield and Defend, as well as its sequel Haki, Chagwo Nilago, similarly attempt to promote social messages such as saving trees from illegal logging and practicing peace and tolerance during Kenyan elections. Leti Arts commonly does contract development for serious games, usually for companies that are interested in educating their employees or creating learning tools. Nairobi-based studio Momentum Core has specialized in developing games for educational purposes, such as games raising awareness for HIV and education games for children. Kenyan developers are mostly interested in making what they call African games. Quote, according to Karinya, what is important is that Kenyan games should tap into African cultural heritage, such as using traditional African weaponry rather than guns or medieval armor. There are also various thematic styles associated with Africa.